They didn't just get even, they made history. From samurai to queens, these legendary tales of revenge will leave you in awe. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Revenge is a powerful motivator, and throughout history, there have been some epic stories where vengeance didn't just settle scores, it reshaped entire civilizations. In today's video, we're diving into some of the most ruthless revenge stories in history, like the legendary 47 Ronin in Japan, Olga of Kiev's savage retaliation, and the real-life inspiration behind the Count of Monte Cristo. Buckle up, because these tales of betrayal and retribution are nothing short of chilling. Number 5. The 47 Ronin, Loyalty and Vengeance in Feudal Japan. One of the most famous revenge stories in Japanese history involves the 47 Ronin, a group of samurai who avenged their master's death. The tale is a legendary example of loyalty, honor, and revenge that has been passed down for centuries. In 1701, a samurai lord named Asano Naganori was dishonored by Kira Yoshinaka, a court official at the shogunate's palace. Asano, in a fit of rage, drew his sword and attacked Kira, but failed to kill him. In retaliation, the shogunate ordered Asano's seppuku, ritual suicide, and confiscated his lands. Asano's samurai, now masterless and dishonored, became Ronin, wandering samurai, and vowed to avenge their lord. Led by Oishi Yoshio, the 47 Ronin bided their time, pretending to lead lives of drunkenness and disarray to lower Kira's guard. After 2 years of meticulous planning, they infiltrated Kira's mansion on a snowy night in 1703. They confronted Kira, who had been hiding in fear, and killed him in the same brutal manner Asano had been dishonored. After carrying out their vengeance, the Ronin turned themselves in, and despite their actions being in line with the samurai code, they were ordered to commit seppuku as a final act of loyalty. Number 4. Olga of Kiev, a queen's revenge against her husband's killers. Another brutal tale of revenge comes from the 10th century Eastern Europe. Olga of Kiev, the regent of Kievan Rus, is remembered not only for her intelligence and political acumen, but also for her savage vengeance against the men who killed her husband, Prince Igor. Prince Igor of Kiev, Olga's husband, was killed by a tribe known as the Drevlians in 945. They had been demanding higher tribute from Igor, and when he attempted to collect it, they ambushed and killed him. Olga, who was grieving her husband's death, had no intention of letting this act go unpunished. Olga's revenge began with calculated diplomacy. When the Drevlian leaders came to Kiev to offer her a proposal for marriage in exchange for peace, she greeted them with seeming forgiveness. She had them carried away in a cart, where they were locked inside a pit and buried alive. But that was only the beginning. Next, she invited the Drevlians to her court for a feast. After they were drunk, Olga had her soldiers set fire to their homes, trapping the men inside. She then sent her soldiers to attack the surviving Drevlians, killing thousands. Finally, she led an army against the Drevlians and razed their city to the ground, ensuring their destruction. Olga's revenge was not just brutal, it was methodical and meticulous. She didn't simply take revenge in the heat of passion. She employed strategy, planning, and even diplomacy to ensure the full extent of her vengeance. Number 3. The Count of Monte Cristo, real-life inspirations behind a legendary tale of revenge. While Alexander Dumas's The Count of Monte Cristo is often seen as a fictional tale of revenge, it was inspired by real events. The novel tells the story of Edmond Dantes, a young man wrongfully imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. After years of suffering, Dantes escapes from prison, finds a fortune, and sets out to take revenge on those who betrayed him. But how much of this story is fictionalized, and how much is drawn from reality? The inspiration behind Dantes' tale came from the real-life story of Pierre Picard, a Frenchman who was similarly betrayed by his friends. In the early 19th century, Picard was a successful and well-liked man in his village. However, his good fortune took a turn when he was falsely accused of being a Bonapartist and was sent to prison. His betrayal came from those closest to him, his best friend, who coveted his fiancée, and a corrupt lawyer. Picard spent years in prison, isolated from the world, where he learned of a hidden fortune through a fellow prisoner. Upon his release, Picard used his wealth to orchestrate the downfall of those who had wronged him. Picard's meticulous revenge was not only about retribution, but also about restoring his honor. He plotted to ruin the lives of the men who betrayed him, much like Dante's in the novel. He used his newfound wealth and intelligence to manipulate circumstances, destroy reputations, and make his enemies suffer. Number 2. The real-life wrath of Spartacus. The story of Spartacus, the gladiator who led one of the most significant slave revolts in Roman history, is also an iconic tale of revenge. Spartacus was a Thracian who was enslaved and trained as a gladiator. After enduring the brutal treatment of the Roman Empire, Spartacus broke free and led a rebellion of thousands of slaves. His revolt, which would later be known as the Third Servile War, was fueled by a desire for revenge against the oppression he had endured. Spartacus's campaign was not just about freedom, it was also about revenge against the Roman elite who had treated him and his fellow slaves with cruelty. Although Spartacus and his army were eventually defeated by the Roman legions, his rebellion sent a message to the ruling classes. Slaves were not powerless, and their desire for revenge could lead to unimaginable chaos. Spartacus became a symbol of resistance and revenge against tyranny, showing that revenge can be a powerful catalyst for social upheaval. Number 1. The Vengeful Lady Isabella, a queen's revenge for betrayal. One of the most brutal tales of revenge in medieval England involves Lady Isabella, the Queen of England, who sought retribution for the betrayal of her husband, King Edward II. In the early 14th century, Edward's reign was marred by political instability and his affair with Piers Gaveston, whom he favored over his queen. Isabella, humiliated by her husband's actions and the lack of support from the monarchy, began plotting her revenge. Isabella secretly allied herself with Roger Mortimer, an influential nobleman, and together they raised an army against Edward II. After successfully capturing her husband, Isabella had him imprisoned and eventually murdered, ensuring he would never return to power. Isabella's revenge was not just personal, it was politically motivated, as she had been deeply wronged both as a wife and as a queen. Her revenge paved the way for her son, Edward III, to become king, changing the course of English history. History is replete with tales of ruthless revenge, from the samurai of Japan to the rulers of Eastern Europe and the figures in literature. The stories of the 47 Ronin, Olga of Kiev, the Count of Monte Cristo's real-life inspiration, Spartacus, and Lady Isabella show that revenge is often a catalyst for dramatic change. While these acts of vengeance may seem extreme or even barbaric by today's standards, they remind us of the power of human emotion and the lengths to which individuals will go to restore their honor, justice, and dignity. They didn't just get even, they made history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these intense revenge stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Which tale shocked you the most? See you next time for more incredible history.